Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. People can always go back and watch the video. And I'm going to attempt to make this my normal time around 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for these investing app reviews. So tonight, I'm going to talk about Stockpile. Stockpile is another investment app, an easy to use investment app that you can buy stock. It's also a great app for young people as well to get started. So let's go ahead and let's go over its website. Let me show you how it works. So Stockpile, it works a lot like Stash, the app that I talked about last night. Once again, with Stockpile, you can start with just $5. You can buy fractional shares of both stocks and ETFs. Remember last night I said ETFs were exchange traded funds. Those are funds that have different companies in the same industry bundled together. So you can, when you invest in an ETF, you're investing in multiple companies at one time. There are no monthly fees, there are no minimums to Stockpile. So let's watch the video real quick.
Closer look with Avi Lele. He's the co-founder and CEO of Stockpile. Find out more about his business and how it's changing the investing landscape. Mr. Lele, welcome back to Mad Money. Good to see you, sir. Great to be here. Right, we've been following you ever since. We've been following BlackRock for a long time. We happen to love the gift card market. Tell me how this company is doing, because it's privately held. We don't know, and who's doing the buying. We're doing great, and I think we're doing great because we're making stock investing easy and affordable for people when it never has been that way. People are told all the time, start early, right, diversify, and do it for the long haul. But it's really hard to start early when you're young because you don't have a lot of money and you certainly don't know anything about the market. They don't teach it to you in school. And you can't walk into a traditional brokerage saying, hey, I got $50. How does the market work? I know that we all do fantasy football, and there's different. When my daughter was in high school, they did little contests. This to me seems like such a better idea than the kind of on-paper contest. Let's get some skin in the game. That's it. That's exactly it. So I opened custodial accounts for my kids at another brokerage, a traditional brokerage. Yeah. And I put thousands of dollars in those accounts, and I just couldn't get them interested because I had the login. I had all the engagement, not much, right. And I got the statements. As soon as Stockpile came to be, and they opened Stockpile accounts, they had their own login. They could check in on their stocks. Right. They could buy things that they knew instead of mutual funds that were hard to grok. And they could place trades that came to my phone for approval. And all of a sudden, an engaging experience was born. Just a few $100, but they had skin in the game. Okay, so let's understand. If there's a stock that's a $900 stock, that does not mean you need $900 to buy a share. That's the key. That's exactly right. So let's take Amazon. Okay. Amazon's a perfect example. Yeah. I come in and I want to buy Amazon, and I've got only $25. So we can take that $25 and go buy one share of Amazon. We'll give you 0.025 shares if my math is right. And we'll keep the rest of that share in a Stockpile account ourselves. Okay, so we see these cards where? So these cards you can buy online at stockpile.com, or you can go to Target or Kroger or Safeway or lots of other places and buy them right off the gift card rack like any other gift card. Now, my staff was telling me that there's a Halloween promotion that sounded very interesting. Well, I was at my dentist a few weeks ago, and dentists hate giving out candy. Right. And he was thinking, boy, wouldn't it be neat if, and I told him about the company, and he said, wouldn't it be neat if I could give out $1 stock cards, to the trick-or-treaters? And so I'm sitting there looking over here and saying, well, Nike kind of goes well with Amazon, orange and black. You want to give those out? And so I think I live in Palo Alto, and there's kind of a feeling that, hey, instead of giving out treats in the form of candy and sugary sweets, why not invest in the kids' futures? Now, what do you think is we were talking about the difficulty of opening an account, but is some of this, there's this ETFization, there's this notion that you can give your money and just do it all by algorithm. This is antithetical to that. Can it really can it make a real comeback? Can individual stocks make a comeback? I think so. I think that 86% of America is not invested in individual stocks or really in the market. That's amazing. It's horrible, right? Because the last 8 years, right, the tide has been rising. The stock market's been doing well, but most of us don't feel rich, right? Because our ships have been in dry dock. They haven't been in the water. And here, when you to get into the market, I think the easiest point of access is to invest in something you know, something that you love. And so if you're an Apple fan, start investing in Apple. If you're a Nike fan, if you're a sports fan, invest in Nike. Now that's the on-ramp. But once you're in, we have a whole series of lessons, mini lessons in our app that are designed to teach you, okay, start diversifying. Start looking at ETFs because they're instant, great diversification. Start investing in maybe other country stocks to get some foreign exposure. So it's a starting point, but then it brings you in, and now you're not in dry dock. Well, look, it's the essence of what we try to do in Mad Money, which is why I'm so glad that you're on. I think it's such a terrific idea. That's Avi Lele. He's the CEO of Stockpile. Yes, fractional shares. Get the kids interested and stick with Kramer. Booyah! Jim Kramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching.
All right, well, that was self-explanatory. This is something great to get your kids involved in. You get yourself, it's an easy to use website. As he said in the video, you can set up a custodial account where your kids can log in and they can see how their stock is doing. The cards that he showed, those cards are in Kroger, Home Depot, Lowe's, most of the places that you see, most of the stores now that carry those gift cards. You can find Stockpile cards. They're great gifts. I give Stockpile cards as gifts for birthdays and holidays. It's a great way to get kids involved as far as investing. You know, you buy them a pair of Nikes, you throw a Stockpile gift card in the box as well. So they have the shoes, and then they can turn around and buy either a whole share or a fractional share or whatever companies that they might be interested in. So once again, Stockpile, you can start with just $5. You can buy fractional shares of thousands of different stocks, and they have the ETFs, the exchange traded funds. It's also web-based, of course, and then, of course, the easiest way is to download the app to your phone to be able to keep up with it. Like I said here, Stockpile, you can give stock away as an e-gift, or you can buy the gift cards and make it a physical gift card redeemable for stock. And just right here, kids and teens can track their stocks 24/7 and place trades. Now you have to approve the trades, and I'll talk a little bit about trading later on down the line. So once again, all of these apps pretty much work the same. You know, you link your bank and then you move money into your Stockpile account in order to make the purchases. And then once you open up your account, you can buy and sell the stock whenever you want to. Now this here is a little Stockpile, and what they mean by trading is when you're holding on to a stock and then you decide to sell that stock. So Stockpile is 99 cents a trade. Now E-Trade, Charles Schwab, and TD Ameritrade, I have accounts. Those are what we call traditional brokerage accounts. And I have accounts with each one of those. But don't allow the trade price in those traditional brokerages accounts scare you off, because it's so much more that you can do with traditional brokerage accounts until the fact that the $6.95 and $4.95 is really irrelevant, because you're not going to be buying and selling stock on a daily basis, so you're not going to run into those fees unless you do that. And most people unless you decide you want to go get into trading, day trading and swing trading, or you can make money in the markets on a daily basis, then that would be the only way that those fees with those traditional brokerage accounts would come into play. Your account is protected. As I said, your money is insured up to $500,000. Now, let's take a look. Let's go over to the gift cards, and I'll show you how the gift cards work. So you can give gift cards. You can send as an e-gift, meaning if you know someone's email address, you can put in their email address and then they'll automatically be sent the gift. In fact, if you want to, anybody that's on this live right now or people that may watch it later, if you leave your email address in the comments, or you can inbox me your email address, I will actually send you $5 worth of free Stockpile stock. So you can go in and buy your first fractional share, or you can set up a custodial account for any child that you know, and they can go in and buy it. So if you leave your email in the comments, or you can inbox me your email address, and I can go ahead and send you a $5 gift card from Stockpile for you to go ahead and get started. Or if you're giving a gift, you can actually print it out and give it to the person. Or you can also mail it as well. So the gift cards, they come in different denominations. You also will receive this in the mail too when you create your account or create your child's account. You'll get a rookie's guide to investing in the stock market. And as you can see, they sell their gift cards based on the companies, and then they have them in different denominations, $25, $50, or $100. And as you can see, they have all the good companies: Amazon, Apple, Disney, Tesla, Google, Netflix. You can read through all of this. Or you could actually just buy, say, a gift card for an ETF, or a gaming stock, or a fashion stock. And then the person can go on here and find their favorite gaming stock, their favorite company that makes video games, and they can invest in that particular company. And you can also go to the store, as I said, and these are the places, these are the stores that sell the Stockpile gift cards. There's quite a few. So regardless of what part of the country you're in, you should be able to find a store that actually sells them. And now the sign up process is simple. I mean, it's just like anything else. You're going to sign up. You're going to put in all your information. They're going to verify your information. You get your account opened up, link your bank account to it, and then transfer money into it. I wanted to show you some of the ETFs. And you can also buy stock using your credit card or your debit card. See, it says right here, if you're new to Stockpile and don't have an account, you can pick a stock and a dollar amount, and you can pay using your debit or credit card and sign up for an account to hold your stock. You can also set up a recurring deposit. So you can decide, for instance, that you want $25, $50 each month to go into your Stockpile account in order to buy stock. And as I said, there are no monthly fees and no account minimums. And you can create a custodial account for your child. And then once that child is of age, 18, whatever assets is in that portfolio legally belongs to that person. Now, as I said, as I've talked about before, dividends are paid out to you for owning stock in a particular company. Each company pays different amount of dividends. But when you get your dividends, I always advise people, take your dividend check and use that to buy more stock instead of spending your dividend checks. Just reinvest, keep reinvesting your dividend checks in order to accumulate more shares, because that's free money. They're giving you money because you own stock in their company. So use the free money that they're giving you in order to buy more stock in the company. Go back. Now, I talked about how we could, in an earlier post, I discussed this. I discussed what's called an ADR. Let me get back here so you can see this. I discussed what's an ADR, American Depository Receipt. And this allows you to own stock in foreign companies. And later down the road, I'll go into more detail as to what and how an ADR is actually how it is obtained. Okay, how American investment, well, there's no such thing as American investment banks, because investment banks are all over the world. Most investment banks have locations all over the world, but investment banks, they are able to go to foreign countries, and they are able to buy stock in foreign companies. And then that bank holds what you call an American Depository Receipt, and it allows us to buy stock in foreign companies. So when you go to your ATFs and you start looking, your ETFs, excuse me, this is a cannabis ETF right here. We've talked about some of these companies. Remember yesterday I told you Alibaba is China's version of our Amazon. This is one of the leading companies in the legal marijuana industry, casino. Disney just purchased 21st Century Fox. So Disney is growing. Contrary to popular belief, I know Netflix is really hot right now and everybody's on to Netflix. But Disney is making a play for Netflix. Disney has made some acquisitions over the last year or so. And if Netflix does not restructure themselves and come up with some new ideas, they are not going to win the streaming war. Disney is putting itself in a position to take over Netflix. I know that may sound crazy and you may not be able to see it just yet, but the type of things that Disney is doing, they're making a play to kill Netflix. This company here, this is another big company in the legal marijuana industry. This company here, this is an interesting little company, and I don't know if anybody in this group has ever heard of Funkos. They are like some little small, they look like little small bobbleheads, and they are really expensive. If you go to Google and you Google Funkos, you will find that there are some. As a matter of fact, I saw one. They have one with they have a Notorious B.I.G. Funko at Walmart. They're selling for almost $800. They're collector's items. This is a young company, but it's a good company. They've already acquired another company. They already have enough money where they were able to go out and purchase another company. And that's what you want to see in companies. You want to see that companies have enough revenue to grow. And the way that companies usually choose to grow is that they go out and they buy other companies in the same industry. And then they take those companies and they revamp those companies to increase revenue. So usually a company, when it gets taken over, gets bought out, is getting bought out because the company's financials have fallen by the wayside or it's bad management. So when that company gets bought out, the company that's buying them, you will already have a plan as to how they can turn that company around and make it profitable. So that's what companies do. That's how companies expand. They don't necessarily expand in-house. They expand by going out and buying other companies in the same industry and then making those companies better. So this is a company right here I would keep my eye on. It's young, but it's a really good company. You know, Raku is a good, Square is good. Square, keep an eye on Square. Square is going to explode over the next few years because Square has its hands in a lot of different things. As far as, look, we are moving towards a cashless society. We are moving towards a cashless society. Once again, I know it may be hard to envision right now. The United States, we are behind. We are not ahead of the game. We are no longer the most advanced country. There are countries that are light years ahead of us. And so Asian countries, especially China, is already cashless. It's a completely cashless society. People do not walk around with paper money in their pockets anymore. Everything that they pay for is paid for by use of their smartphones. And so the United States is behind in that, but we are going to get there. And that's what society is going towards. We're going to a cashless society where fiat or paper money, we're not going to be walking around with it anymore. Everything that we do will be paid for through our smartphones, through our devices. And Square is a big player in that field right now. So they're going to do nothing but continue to grow. This is another company that is in the legal marijuana industry. Now this is an S&P 500 ETF. So what is the S&P? S&P stands for Standard and Poor. That's Standard and Poor. Standard and Poor, the stock market, just like we have credit agencies that rate our credit, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, the stock market our companies are rated by 3 different rating agencies. And Standard and Poor is one of those rating agencies. So when you hear the S&P 500, what the S&P 500 is, it is 500 of the largest companies, publicly traded companies. That's what the S&P 500 is. The 500 of the largest publicly traded companies. So when you buy into S&P 500 ETF, what you're doing is you're buying into that whole group. You're buying into a group of all 500 of those companies are grouped together in S&P 500, and you're buying a portion of that whole group. Okay, so that's what the S&P 500 is. Let's take a look at another ETF. Now, Vanguard's ETF. If you have a 401k, 9 times out of 10, Vanguard is in your 401k portfolio. Vanguard is a really popular ETF that money managers use, meaning, the people that are in charge of investing that money that comes out your check that goes into your 401k. A lot of money managers like Vanguard. Vanguard offers a lot of different investment packages. Vanguard itself is not an investment company. Vanguard just puts together investment packages. So I would not be surprised if you have a 401k, 9 times out of 10, they've got you invested in something dealing with Vanguard, a Vanguard ETF. Let's look and see what companies are in this ETF. Okay, it's a cannabis index ETF, so this is just a combination of some of those cannabis companies. Now these are the ones that are trending, meaning these are the ones that have been most popular recently, but you can look at different groupings. This is a gaming company. This company right here makes video games. I'm trying to find. Let's look at the top gainers. So these are some of the top gainers. Some of the top losers. Not surprised. And I know who eats here. I don't like their stuff, their food. Even Zillow is a publicly traded company. Zillow, the housing website, that is a publicly traded company. In fact, Zillow is another company to keep your eye on, because Zillow, in the last few years, Zillow is transitioning their business from just being a place where you can post rentals and post houses for sale. Zillow has actually started buying up houses throughout the country. Zillow is actually transitioning themselves into a major real estate investment company, where they're actually buying up houses to rent to people. So they're transitioning their company from just being a space that real estate agents and other people can use to advertise homes. They're actually buying up homes throughout the country right now, thousands of homes, and turning them into rental property. So Zillow is a company to keep your eye on. Just because it's down a little bit right now doesn't mean anything. They're going to see a lot of growth over the next few years, because as you know, throughout the country, rental prices are going through the roof. So see, these are some of the companies that you can invest in. A lot of different car companies. Overseas, like I said, overseas company, Porsche is an international company, but you can invest in that. These are some of the sporting companies that you can invest in. This is another company that makes video games. I really don't know how GameStop is still around with all the advancements that we've made. I guess that's why they're selling cell phones and all kinds of other stuff now. to try to keep up with competition. This Manchester United is actually a team. It's a team in England. It's actually a soccer team. So teams can be publicly traded companies as well. In fact, the New York Knicks, the New York Rangers, the hockey team, and there are a few other American sports teams that are actually publicly traded companies that you can invest in, that you can buy stock in. So you could actually buy stock in the New York Knicks, in the New York Rangers, and I'll find out those other ones. Six Flags is a publicly traded company. You can invest in Six Flags. WWE has done great over the last couple of years. WWE is actually a publicly traded company. You can invest in that company, and they've done quite well over the last few years. They've done great, actually. And these are some. Children's Place. It has been a good performing company over the years, although retail is in trouble right now. And you remember, I made a post a couple of days ago about this particular company here and all the different brands that they own. So as you can see these two companies that have the same ticker symbol. It's two different brands, but it's owned by the same company, because you see that it has the same, what we call a ticker symbol. That's the symbol used for companies on the stock market. This is another company that Louis Vuitton owns, Louis Vuitton plus Fendi plus several other brands. So these are something they also own. Louis Vuitton also owns the watch company that makes those tag watches. So it's an abundance. It's a lot of different things, a lot of different stocks that you can choose from. This is another company that makes video games. You can go through, and there's tons of them that you can choose from. Okay, these are the ETFs. This ETF right here, okay, and this is just an illustration of how people, you don't have to, how the stock market is an international game. The stock market is just not about the United States, as I said. So this is a prime example. This is an ETF that's actually containing different technology companies that are either based out of that part of the world, based out of Israel, or they're whoever. Because when you're a publicly traded company, nobody within the company owns the company per se. So this particular ETF lets you know that it's made up of some foreign companies from that region of the world. There's a lot of money in that region of the world. I'm going to have to actually myself, I'm going to do some research on this ETF right here, because that sounds interesting to me. When I see Israel, I think oil. So that is always a good thing. Okay, if you in the healthcare, maybe you a nurse, you know somebody that's a nurse. You know, this is an ETF that are going to have companies in it in the healthcare field. This is an email I made a post about the future, emerging markets, robotics and artificial intelligence. This is an ATF that would allow you to be invested in different companies dealing with robotics and artificial intelligence. This one right here would allow you to invest in different China-based companies like Alibaba. If you didn't want to just buy that company, you want to diversify yourself. Pharmaceutical. So it's a lot of different stuff that you can pick from. A lot of different companies you can pick from. So that's Stockpile. That's the Stockpile Investing App. You can open up an account. You can open up a custodial account for your child. The sign-up process is really simple. It doesn't take but 2 or 3 minutes to create an account. You can go into a store and buy the Stockpile gift cards to give those as a gift to get somebody started. You can send them a gift through their email address. So there are a lot of different ways. There's several different ways that you can use this particular app in order to buy stock. And like I said, this is a really fun app for kids. Because it's a lot of once you get your account, then you'll have access to a lot of different the videos and the lessons that he talked about in the video. So that's it, guys. That's all for tonight, the Stockpile Investing app. But as I said, if you want to get started, if you want $5 free to go ahead and get started, you can leave your email in the comment section, or you can inbox me, or you can text me your email address to 706-399-5845. That's 706-399-5845. You can text me your email address, inbox me your email address, or you can leave your email address in the comment section, and I'll actually I'll email you. I will email you $5. I'll email you a Stockpile gift card that you can go ahead and get started and buy your first fractional share. So once again, if you got any questions, you can always reach out to me. I will be back tomorrow evening. And I think tomorrow I might talk about, I think I'm going to do Robinhood tomorrow. So yeah, I think I'm going to do Robinhood Investing app tomorrow, because Robinhood has expanded a little bit. So I want to go into some different things you can do with that. That's all I have for tonight. Stockpile Investing app. If you want $5 free to get started, like I said, leave your email in the comment section, or you can inbox me your email, or you can text it to me, and I'll send you a link to get you started with $5. Everybody have a good evening, and I will be back tomorrow. As I said, I'm going to do my best to keep the time around this time to go live around about 7 Central Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So everybody have a good evening, and I'll be back tomorrow to discuss Robinhood.